Let's bring in Farhad Alaaldin, the chairperson of the Iraq Advisory Council. He joins us now from Baghdad. Farhad, welcome to the programme. You'll have to give us a very brief history lesson, if you don't mind, and explain to us how come there's no government 10 months after elections. What's wrong in Iraqi politics that this is happening?
The Iraqi constitution is very much a power-sharing constitution among the Iraqi political parties. And in recent years, the gap between the political parties within each sect, like the Shia, the Sunni, the Kurd, have widened. And that's the reason that they are incapable of forming a government. At the same time, the Supreme Court have made sure that to elect a president, which is a key component of forming a government, you must have a majority of 2/3 in parliament, and the president can only be elected with a 2/3 vote in the first session. And that 2/3 is very difficult to achieve when you have the major rivals boycotting the session. So in a nutshell, the Constitution and the interpretation of Article 70 in the Constitution have led to this impasse, and the division among the rivals very much contributed to this impasse.
Okay, so you're indicating it's very much an internal problem. Does that mean that therefore Iran's influence is not really one of the biggest issues? Because obviously one of the biggest confusions is, for people who aren't totally familiar with Iraqi politics, is here you have Muqtada al-Sadr, who's a Shia cleric, but very much against Iranian influence. And then you have other Shia blocs inside parliament who are content, shall we say, with the level of Iran's influence and not too bothered about it.
This is a superficial view for people who really only see Iraq through Iran's prism. But in reality, that's not the case, because the divisions is among the Kurds, the Sunnis, and the Shias, and it's not the division that they have is about power sharing rather than allegiance to this side or the other, nor it is about the program of how to serve the Iraqi people. It's pure politics, nothing else. And obviously, Iraq has been an arena for outside influence for a very long time, since 2003. Major external actors, the regional actors and the international, have played a role one way or another, directly or indirectly. Iran is interfering, Saudi Arabia, United Emirates, America, Britain, France. Everybody is one way or another is involved with Iraq. Some of them have negative contributions, some of them have positive contribution. To really sum it up as it is Iran's fault is not correct. At the same time, yes, Iran does have major influence in Iraqi politics.
Do you feel that Prime Minister al-Kadhimi's statements over the past few days have been as conciliatory as they appear? He's been telling security forces to not use violence against the protesters. At the same time, of course, telling the demonstrators, keep your protests peaceful. But he seems to have indicated that actually the Sadrist bloc has a point and that there needs to be some sort of reformation of the current system. Is he saying that just to buy time, or does he mean it?
It's difficult for the government to oppose the major popular parties such as the Sadrist movement without bloodshed if they oppose their will, basically. And there is coordination between Sadr and the Prime Minister, and the security forces did let through the protesters to reach the parliament twice. This is completely different when, for example, the other side wanted to, just after the election when they protested, they were stopped at the gates of the Green Zone, and there were violent clashes and even people killed and injured through it. So there is some sort of difference in terms of treatment, but everybody agrees that was the right thing to do to prevent bloodshed. At the same time, it has contributed to this latest impasse and latest episode of the political impasse, which is the occupation of the parliament and further deepening the deadlock.
Farhad, thank you so much indeed for your time. Farhad Alaaldin speaking to us from Baghdad.